Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, guys. I am back to do part 2 to my depression story, and I'm very nervous. Before I get into it though, I have a couple of disclaimers. First, let me start off by saying that if you are depressed, please speak to someone. Please speak to someone about it. Please open up about it. Do what you can to get this out of your system, and please keep going. Make sure y'all talk to someone, seek help. This is not something everyone can handle on their own, okay? Disclaimer number 2, if you can hear Peppa Pig in the background, I'm sorry. She's here. Hello, meet Peppa Pig. She's amazing, super sweet, love her. Disclaimer number 3, I am here with Oscar. A good friend gave me him a while ago, and I've had him all this time. He cuddles with me, he's amazing. I know I'm gonna cry, so he's here to be my moral support.
Why are you coming up with a doll? Tell me that.
Fourth disclaimer, there is a scratch on my wall right here. I used to have a couch right here, and it was a piece of metal sticking out and used to scrape the wall. Not a piece, it was a couple pieces. And it used to scrape the wall when I would move it. It was a rocking chair. So yeah, if you peep the ghetto wall, just ignore it, okay? Just ignore it. Let's not get into that. That's not why we're here.
What?
Finally, let's get into this. Well, I am super nervous about this for several reasons, but the main reason being I don't talk about this part of my life. I've tapped on it before publicly, but to be on my YouTube channel that I plan to keep up for the rest of my life, for everyone to see, is a little scary because I've never told nobody about this part of my life, but I feel this is super important to my channel, and I also feel like I definitely could help so many, because I dealt with this on my own and I have advice to push people and pull people through it. This is really in detail of things that I keep to myself. So I ended off the last video with me entering middle school, so that's where we're going to start today. Let me just say that this is me telling the story from my point of view now. I see now what I was dealing with. At the time, I was not fully aware. Not until high school. But me telling my middle school year is from my point of view now, with the knowledge I have now. So entering middle school, I carried the pain of my mom's stroke, my abandonment issues, and my self-hate is how I would describe it. I was introduced in 7th grade to what I believed was popularity, relationships, all of the goody preteen juicy stuff. I soon started to see all of the things I lacked in other people. I seen the things I admired in people, and if I lacked it, I began to account that to myself. I began to hate myself for not having that, and it just grew and grew. And by the time I was in 8th grade, I literally hated the skin I was in. I literally would wake up and hate the skin I was in. There was times where waking up was just too much energy, and I can't even begin to explain the pain I felt. It was so bad that it became numb, to where it was like, yeah, I'm me, oh well. I started to care myself worse and worse. Didn't really care, didn't really put much energy into it because I didn't want to be here anyway. I caught myself being in a relationship around that time that low-key really defeated me, because I didn't like who I was, but since someone else liked who I was, it made me feel better about myself in some type of way. So once I found out he was cheating on me, it made me feel less. It made me feel like, damn, I really ain't good enough for nobody. I was young, and this is what I believe. It pains me to look back because I was at a place where there was no one around me that was good enough to make me feel good enough. I hated me. I did not like that every time I woke up I was still in this body. It was just so strong in 8th grade, and it just built up. I would see all these people in relationships with their father, and I didn't have my dad, my real dad, and nor did I have my stepdad, so that was added on. And I just felt like all of these people just keep leaving because of who I am. And it was to a point where I didn't even blame them anymore. And I wasn't even a bad person. This is so sad because I would never do myself how I used to do myself then. All of this pain added up, and I soon no longer wanted to be here. I was super numb at a point in 8th grade. This is such a young age to feel this way. I literally had enough. I was dealing with verbal abuse with an alcoholic, and I was dealing with self-hate, abandonment issues, and I was dealing with people at school who were also saying things too. There was people who would mention how I dressed, or mentioned how I would wear my hair, or how I carried myself in a bad way, and it would pain me, and it would just add on. And I also had guys come around and play with me, literally play with my heart. So there came a point where all of this added up, and I no longer wanted to be here. I felt like that was the solution, is to not be here anymore. I had in my head that once I did the job, that I would come back as somebody new, and I could start over as somebody new. I didn't really care what would happen after. I just knew I didn't want to be here anymore. My mama, my siblings, my family, my friends, there was nobody good enough to keep me here. I had no anchor. I wasn't religious at the time either, so it was just me. And if I didn't love who I was, I had nothing. I was ready to die. I just needed one person to see what I was going through, and to keep me here, to give me a reason to stay. I actually low-key really wanted to be here. I just wanted to feel wanted. So that day of school, unfortunately, nobody noticed. And I feel like that day was probably the worst day ever. So I went home, and I was gonna take some of my mom's pills. And at the time, my brother, he didn't know. He had no clue what was going on. I really don't think he ever knew. And now that I look back, there were so many times where I needed somebody, and he was the person there to make me laugh and make me smile. Even when he was irritating me, he was giving me reasons to enjoy being here. So I had in my head that I was going to take those pills that night, and I was just gonna sleep and let it take me. But my brother, who was scared of the dark at the time and scared to sleep in his own room, insisted that he sleep with me. He didn't know what I was gonna do. I wanted him to leave so bad, and when I think back, it just hurts me, because how did you want to leave that bad? I was so ready to go. I literally was at a point where I was going to go in the bathroom and take it. And I think back now, like, dang, he's literally my angel. He didn't even know, but he saved me from letting me do that to myself. I either would have been in the hospital, or I would have been dead. But he didn't leave me. It hit me that he was the reason I was gonna stay. First, it was just him, and then it was my siblings. And for some reason, he had to be scared that night. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it next to him. And I think it was a little bit of hope right there. They all three were the reason I had to stay. But that was not in that moment. That's not what I was thinking. In that moment, I was thinking, I can't do this next to him. I remember this day so clear. I gave life one more chance. I begged for a reason to stay. I think I established in my head I didn't want to die, because I thought about how once I died, I would give my mama more pain, and I would give my siblings more pain. I was being selfish. One day I seen her at school, and she shouted my name with so much joy to see me. And I think from there, at that point, was when I realized I had to stay. I felt so wanted. Nobody else in this world made me feel wanted, but my siblings did. If for some reason our bond grew tighter from there, They didn't know. They did not know what I was going through. But the thing about being sad is you really do get tired of being sad, and it just adds to your sadness. To wake up with such a heavy heart, it's like you're always reminded how sad you are somehow, and it's annoying and it's tiring. It takes so much energy to be sad all the time. It takes a lot of energy to be sad, and it's worse when it's because you don't love yourself. Because what could I do? You know, I couldn't do anything. I entered 9th grade year, and I had in my head that I wasn't going to kill myself. That wasn't an option. It didn't help me love myself, but I knew I couldn't die. I had to be here for my siblings. I wasn't living for me. I was living for them. My sisters were so young at the time. That would have hurt them so much. So I entered 9th grade year. I was super depressed. I was super depressed. It's like the worst thing ever when you're that young dealing with that, especially when you're not telling anybody, because you're dealing with so much by yourself. Nobody knows what you're going through, so there's no one who can actually speak up for you, and nobody knew what I was dealing with in my head. I had such dark thoughts at the time. It was hard. I barely went to school in 9th grade year. I couldn't keep going to look these people in the face. So throughout high school, I think 10th grade year was when I started to finally feel me actually getting through it, because 9th grade summer I began to go to this church, and I was introduced to God again. I was a reborn Christian, and I had another reason to live. I started to actually love being here because I had a reason to be here. I had church to go to. And then it became to where I had a reason to be here because I enjoyed my life low-key. And in the 11th grade year, I was deep into church, and I had this daily schedule in my life, and I had these friends that had me keep going. They had me getting out of the house. I was still depressed, but they was pulling me out of it. They did not know, they have no clue to this day how amazing they were. I was dealing with so much. Even at that point, there was still a lot going on. But it became like I had to keep going. That's all I had. Keep going. Keep going. With that pain in my chest, I just kept going. Not even my family knew. I was dealing with so much in my head. And being in your own head is such a battle. I wish this on no one, and I wish I could speak to every person. And what I can say to everybody who's feeling the way I felt is just keep going. I kept going. I found new reasons to be here. I found new reasons to anchor me here. I still deal with abandonment issues to this day, but I have self-love. So that is my story of how I got through depression. I basically found new reasons to be alive. I found new reasons to enjoy who I was. Anybody who's going through this right now, my advice to you is to open up, speak to someone about it. You never know who can help you. Please talk to someone, because I feel like if I would have spoke up about my pain to somebody would have been able to help. Change your perspective. I highly recommend to change your perspective. You went through what you went through, and you're going through what you're going through to help you grow as a person. Please keep going. I am going to end this video here. This video is about my depression, how I got through it. My next video will be self-love, and I also plan to do a video about my advice on depression. Okay, this is just about my depression though. Keep that in mind. This is about how I got through my depression. Please do not make the decisions I made because I was lucky to fail. I pray to God that you go speak to someone about what you're dealing with, please. All right, thank you guys for watching. I have to go now. Please subscribe, comment, and feel welcome to ask me for advice or anything. I will do the best I can. Feel welcome to comment whatever you feel you want me to speak on. And always keep going. Bye, guys.